a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decide the fiction from the truth. Society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
Come on now, what's up? Let's get down. Get up, get down. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. That was an intro, huh? I was friggin' smoking. What's up? What's up now? Huh? I know you're excited about this one. I am too. So, hope everybody's well out there. Good to see. Welcome, familiar friends, and welcome to those that are not so familiar. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We're not here to talk about politics. We're not here to talk about who's getting vaxxed. We're not here to talk about red man bad or red man good. I don't give a flying fuck about that shit. We're here to talk about the tie that binds us together, music. All right? You want to fuck with that other nonsense? Get back on TikTok or Instagram. All right? Hello from Cape Cod, where it's summer again. All right, good. Welcome to New York, crossover. Yeah. Good to see everybody. You know who's back in Estados Unidos? This guy.
What's up?
Back from Sicily.
Happy to be back on American soil.
It was some real greaseball shit.
Oh, it was beautiful. After a grueling 10-hour plane ride home, I wanted to jump out the window, though.
10 hours?
10 hours with the jet stream. Yeah. Brutal.
Yeah, I'm not good on...
I can't sleep on
any flights that go into double digits. I'm like, not good.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I've always wanted to go to Australia, and I hear it's like 24 hours on a plane.
Dude, I flew to Moscow from JFK, and that was rough, man.
I'm convinced anyone who could fall asleep is probably taking some kind of pill or something. The guy that sat next to me put a shirt over his head, leaned against the window when it's out for like 6 hours without moving. Yeah, it was crazy.
I remember the old days when people were smoking on planes, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well,
people would just put a shirt over their head and smoke right in the seat.
Oh, that's funny. They do it now. This is a non-smoking aircraft, by the way.
I always love the concept of on airplanes of like the smoking section. Like I'm in the smoking section of the plane, which is like we're in a friggin' tube.
Yeah.
We're in a tube. So like I'm in this row and the guy behind that's the smoking section. It's like, wow, that's the smoking section.
And they threaten nobody to smoke in the lavatories, by the way.
Clowns.
So, but I'm happy to be home. It was a great trip.
You sent me this wild picture, man. What is this? Is this coming or going?
Oh, I love this. This is leaving. You know, I can't fly without taking at least one picture like this. But the coolest thing about this is you're looking at Mount Etna, which is an active volcano in Sicily that actually comes up through the clouds.
Wow. It's an active volcano?
It's active, yes. Every so often, it erupted last year, actually. And they have, like, you have tours. You can actually walk up parts of it. And my brother and I did that a few years back. And you'll see little signs that say 12 people died at this point. 18 people died at this point. 17 people died at this point, you know. But it's, I just thought that was so
Did the
cool.
trains have graffiti?
In Catania, there's tons of graffiti. Because I went to Taormina, then I took a train to Catania. Catania is sort of like the New York City. It's like gritty. It's got a little more of that, you know, what we're used to. Tons of graffiti. Nothing in Taormina. Taormina is very touristy, very fancy, lots of shops. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I need a little grit and grime, you know, in my city.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, move into Manhattan with us, man.
Yo, Larry the Hunter.
Yeah. I didn't one of your faves, didn't the monkey lady pass I'm being silly.
You
The
know
monkey,
what?
she's not the monkey lady, she's the
Right.
gorilla woman.
Actually, she's the chimpanzee lady.
Oh, no, I thought, wait.
Diane Fossey was gorillas.
Oh, I thought they were the same woman.
No. This
Who's
is Jane.
this?
This is Jane Goodall. She
Jane
passed away.
Diane Fossey was Gorillas in the Mist.
Correct.
I get it.
Yes. See, she followed in the footsteps of Diane Fossey.
I see.
Here she's actually hugging Rachel Weisz, the actress. That was at an event I shot back in 2007.
How about the baboon broad?
The baboon broad.
It's good. Good Spaghetti Lee.
She was all about conservation and primatology.
And you took these pictures, right?
She was pretty incredible, like the work she did, and in trying to understand our relatives, so to speak, and that was a big one.
Why are monkeys our relatives?
Have you seen some of our friends?
Have you? When was the last time you were at a hardcore show?
Yeah, there's no gorillas there. She was actually pretty amazing, and in a world full of people that do things like looking for attention, she just always, she was always protecting nature and everything. I thought she was pretty awesome. Oh, Ray Hogan interviewed her. Look at that.
You ever see that incredibly touching clip of when they're letting one of these chimps out into the wild, and the chimp comes out of the cage and kind of looks around and sees her and like hugs her, and then goes on, turns around.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that gets me every time. Oh
yeah, that clip is that's an incredibly touching clip where the chimp,
like when they showed the one where they released a bunch of the chimps they had been using for experiments. The first time they ever saw daylight, and it's just incredible,
Right on.
But I thought that happened while I was away, and I thought we should touch on that. And, I'm happy to be home. I missed a ton of shows while I was gone.
Oh, but, while you're here, before you split, you're playing on Friday with the guitar player of Incendiary Device, Will Romeo.
This is going to be a fun show. This is coming up this Friday, and at a great place called Nautilus Brewing Company. And in fact, Mark Allen Prince and Will and I did a show back in the Organic Grill days when we used to do shows there. Yeah. And this is going to be a really, really fun show.
I think maybe I'll come out and do a couple songs with Will. We'll see.
That would be awesome. You coming out to the 631?
We'll see. Driving out to Long Island on a Friday late afternoon.
Now,
isn't exactly the thrill of a lifetime, bro.
If you look at that flyer, there's two bands between us and Will.
Right.
We want to see you. We want you to be there.
Bro, don't be going on at fucking 3:00 in the morning.
It's a coffee house. It's not Don Hill's.
You know me. I haven't.
Hey, don't you have another flyer I sent you as well?
Yeah.
In fact, this one we booked this while I was away, and I'm super psyched about this. We've been trying to get a show together with our friends, the Ice Cold Killers, and we did. And out on Long Island at Katie's of Smithtown, a haunted bar in Long Island.
With our old friends, the Ice Cold Killers. Who's Marley Bone?
Marley Bone. You know our friend Denise that comes to all the shows?
No.
This is her husband's brand new band, a rockabilly band, old school stand-up bass, scratch guitars.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Really, really good stuff. This is only going to be their second show.
Listen, I'll tell you something about this show. If you're not in Philadelphia seeing Incendiary Device play the Hostile City Weekend with Rebelmatic, if you're not seeing us play in Philly that night, Hostile City, and you happen to be stranded in Long Island, go see this show.
Yes. And I don't have to ask you if you know who that is on the flyer.
That is Darren McGavin, a.k.a. Carl Kolchak.
Yep. The Night Stalker.
And he was the Night Stalker, which was
Yes.
which started out really strong and then sort of like faded. But the first bunch of sort of episodes were really great.
Yeah, it sort of like predates like the X-Files, even like.
Yeah. The first, I think the first two were films.
Oh, really?
I think they were like feature length. They weren't in the movies, but I think it was pretty good. Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Yep.
That's right. All right, bro.
Well, I'm super excited about this one, so I got a front row seat. So let's do it.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Take care. There you have it. The Hardcore Shutterbug. This is it. This is what you paid for. The New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We are sponsored by DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, Women of the Pit, She Devil's Coven, 126 Hardcore Clothing, and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, my friends and yours, Vinny Stigma and Agnostic Front. Information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. That said, let's clear the deck. What the heck? Let's bring our guest on. Here we go, yo. Buckle up. Buckle up, you chamokes. And here we go. Today's guest is an American bassist and occasional vocalist hailing from the old North State of North Carolina. He's known for his work with the bands Righteous Fool, Lightning Born, Snake Nation, Vista Chino, and of course, the Trailblazers, Corrosion of Conformity. Please welcome, coming at us from Raleigh, North Carolina, Mr. Mike Dean. Hey, man.
How you doing, bud?
I'm good. Good to see you. How's things in Raleigh, bro?
Things in Raleigh are a little crazy, as you know. We just got this stream up about 2 minutes before you went on, and yeah.
Hey, 400 shows into it, you know, I don't panic much anymore, you know.
Yeah. I had the learning curve, but I didn't come off the rails.
You pulled it. Here we are. We pulled it off. Well, let's jump right into it. What do you say? So, how did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
Yeah, I grew up in a pretty musical household. My brothers, I had older brothers with big record collection, and I would stumble across the Black Sabbath when I was like 5 years old, and got obsessed with the wah-wah, Electric Funeral. Go to school and put your fingers in and out of your ear, and the teacher would sound like the teacher on Charlie Brown. Wah, wah, wah. So that explains my great academic success. But we had a broken piano in the front hall because we couldn't get it fully in the house, and my brother showed me how to play some blues and boogie. As long as in the key of C, I could play piano. So that's kind of like why COC is all tuned down to C now. It's just a good key.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Growing up in Raleigh, we're about the same age. Like, what music was kind of in the air there as a young person? I know you found, but what was sort of the norm out down there?
Okay, so I never moved to North Carolina until I was like a teenager, like really till hardcore times.
Okay.
So I lived in Nebraska when I was a kid, way the hell out in Nebraska. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so like the thing would be, the older kids. I was like the youngest of the family, and the O'Malleys next door with their like 9 brothers or something. It was all about the Ted Nugent, the Grand Funk, the Led Zeppelin, the Aerosmith, very much. Yeah.
Talking to I've had Ian Mackay on the show. We were talking, and like Ted Nugent was big in his world as a young teenager.
Well, in 7th grade art class, I constructed a clay bust of Ted Nugent.
Who would have thought it? Yeah. That's pretty great.
But that was based on the early records.
Yeah. The real early stuff.
And really, when you listen to those, it's really the Derek St. Holmes band.
That's right. That's right.
All the good vocals are Derek St. Holmes.
Yeah. No, they had it going on for a couple years, for a couple records. Yeah, they were great. How old were you? And why did you move to Raleigh?
Just because my mom, split up from my father, and she got a job opportunity in insurance. So I got to move to Hartford, Connecticut for like 6 months.
Excuse me, the insurance capital of the world.
Yeah. So she'd get her training on, and then I got a slice of that kind of like Southern New England lifestyle, drinking, underage kids on a mountain, a little tiny mountainside. And then I got to move to North Carolina. And, around that time, it was like we would listen to the Ramones and we thought it was funny. I was like, this is funny. Start off singing along, kind of making fun of it. I'm like, well, actually, I really like this.
Sure.
From then on, it was all,
What was, I guess the Ramones was sort of your the gateway, right?
Yeah. And then it was the Dead Boys, and pretty soon we're down here like drinking underage at a place called the Milestone Club, and 999 would come play, the English band, and a DC band called Black Market Baby, who are amazing. And the next thing you know, Black Flag is coming to town, 3 times a year, and the Bad Brains are camped out in Lizard Lick, North Carolina, with their tech they traveled with, Jerry Williams, who recorded their best cassette.
Jerry Williams of the Cigarettes, yeah.
Yes. So we had a front row seat to. That's my favorite New York hardcore band that's not really from New York, the Bad Brains. We're just awkward kids sitting with them while they smoke giant spleefs and read Bibles and ignore us, starstruck.
Hey, you mentioned this guy. I think I'd be amiss just not to pull the car over here and just say, Jerry Williams was sort of the I always call him the
I like that you got a photograph of him handy. That's amazing.
Oh, bro. This is what I do, man. So Jerry, what do I call him? He's sort of the unsung hero of New York hardcore. He did so much for so many, and I know we're skipping around here, but let's skip on. I'm assuming when you guys would come up to play CB's later on, there was a familiar smiling face.
Well, it would be him, and then later on, it would be a guy who later went on to mix us, a guy named Stevie McAllister.
Right.
And sometimes it would be a young man named Tommy Victor.
That's right.
On the matinees. He got his start on the matinees. Yeah. Those are your front of house guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They were all great. They were all great.
Yeah. To make that stuff intelligible in that environment. Yeah. And to keep everything working.
Jerry Williams always had like a spliff hanging out of his mouth, and and nothing fazed him.
I used to call him Billy Bob Marley.
Yeah, there you go. I know we're talking about young teenager. What inspired you to pick up the bass guitar?
Well, guitar was already taken in most instances by people who had a head start on it, but I always it kind of goes back to that Black Sabbath thing. I always liked how the bass and the guitar and that stuff was kind of equal volume. Sometimes it was even side by side if you listen to Paranoid, and you could hear what was going on, and it was just a cool vibe. And also, in the course of that punk rock indoctrination of my teens, I started getting into the Clash a little bit, which always makes you go down the reggae rabbit hole. And pretty soon, I'm meeting people at the apartment complex from Jamaica that are all into the Toasters, like your Big Youth type of shit. Mm-hmm. Pretty soon you're listening to a lot of dub, and that's all about the bass. So that was a big part of it.
What was the first? We're going to talk a little gear here and there, but do you remember what was like the first bass that you got?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was a hollow body Aria Pro, and that sucker would feed back like at the drop of a hat. It would just whoa. And I had this Sun 215 cabinet.
That's kind of gnarly.
And a custom plush, tuck and roll, solid state head with a really bright purple power indicator light.
I still have my Area Pro Mark II it's in the storage room, but I still have that Area Pro Mark II.
Man.
Those are pretty good. Yeah.
And then I got a short scale Rickenbacker. That if I had it today, it would be worth bank. It was either a 3000 or 3001. It was the cheapo model, and the pickup didn't even have a plastic cover. It was like they just put upholstery on the pickup and screwed it in there.
Wow!
But it sounded killer. But I had to have a Fender bass like Chuck Dukowski or Daryl Jennifer.
I didn't know that Rickenbacker. I didn't know there was a short scale Rickenbacker.
You got to Google that. Yeah. They're 3000 and the 3001, and they're rare. And like the lawyers on the Reverb app, the collectors that make everything high, they're pretty gay for those things right now.
You know what? I stand corrected. The first bass that I had was given to me as a teenager as a gift, a holiday gift, was a Fender Mustang, which was a short scale, bass neck. Yeah. So I had that. So bass, how did things come together? What was your first band? Was it Barney Fife's Army? Is that right? Was it the Accused?
Well, that was an early version of like the COC lineup with Benji singing. But no, like back in high school, I got myself into this school that I thought is a public school. I thought it was like an alternative school, like for good reasons. But it was an alternative school because you fucked up everywhere else.
Oh, you went to one of those too?
Yeah. So unknowingly, because I hadn't quite fucked up all the way. I was in the process.
Right.
But so I met this kid, and he was like, it was this black kid that could play. He grew up playing guitar in church. This guy Horace Beebe, we called him, and he could play like all the Southern rock, and he would bring his Explorer-shaped Hamer guitar to school. And he would like shred the Outlaws and Molly Hatchet solos and leave the rednecks stunned. But he liked the Plasmatics and stuff like that. So we had a really terrible band with him being the only person that could play. We had a bunch of names, but nothing really that stands out. And we had this Jamaican guy trying to sing for us, and he was really into like the harsh sounding reggae-fied stuff like Basement 5. You ever hear that? Like stuff like that. So it's kind of like this Plasmatics reggae mashup thing that nobody really liked.
In Raleigh, North Carolina, no less.
In Charlotte, actually. And then I met all these punk rockers from this club called the Milestone Club, where like all these famous bands used to stop by, like namely Circle Jerks, Bad Brains,
right?
Black Flag often. And some of us went to Raleigh because we met some people at the school, the North Carolina State University School of Design, that wanted to have a hardcore band play their Halloween party. And we convinced them that we were an accomplished hardcore band. So we just played and got paid money without any press kit or anything whatsoever. And so that didn't work out. But then I met Reed and Woody, who were I'd already dropped out of high school at this point. They were still in school. In fact, Reed was 15. And we got together and jammed a little bit. And then we found, my friend from back in Charlotte, Benji, to sing for us. That's when we started doing what would eventually become Corrosion and Conformity. But he kind of wanted to be in a joke band, like a Meat Men type of humor band.
Sure.
So he had a bunch of humorous songs, and we're like, no, we're serious artists, Benji. So.
You mentioned this guy. This isn't him playing, but I think his influence goes really deep with a lot of hardcore bass players.
Oh, he just leaned in so hard. How could you lean in? He was fluid on the instrument, man.
Oh, he was great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great. Chuck. We're talking about Chuck Dukowski. If you don't recognize him, and I saw a lot of early Black Flag shows in '81 and I mean, not that early, but I saw them as early as '81, and he was the train that drove. He was the engine that drove the train, man.
I really liked it when I never got to see them when Dez was the singer, but I got to see them when Dez was still second guitar player.
Yeah,
that was massive sounding.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was.
It was a very short moment in history. But.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Dan Neese says Black Flag with Chuck were incredible. They were, and I mean we played punk rock bowling and recently, and Flag played, and they were great.
They were great. I've seen them. Yeah.
They were great. So is this, at what point did you sort of land on We Are Corrosion and Conformity? How did that come together?
I think we had some names that were just kind of dumb and ordinary. We would go through, and eventually Reed Mullen, is sitting there in study hall, and he thinks of the name, and he writes it on his notebook instead of taking any notes, and it looks pretty cool, and he brings it to us, and I'm like, okay, we don't have any better ideas. Here we are.
Right.
Yeah. So we did it.
Yeah. And in that early era when it's sort of, I remember I was in a band called, the COs. I was up in Boston, and there was DYS, and there was the FUs. You remember that whole thing?
Abbreviations galore, man.
Yeah. COC, right?
Oh,
yeah. MDC, SSD.
SSD.
Yeah.
EDT.
Yeah.
All of that. JFA.
Yeah. All that.
RKL.
God, it goes on and on. Did you? So was Eric in the first iteration of Corrosion? Was Eric singing?
He was not. It was the guy Benji that wanted to do more of a humorous thing,
right?
And he had some musical ideas, and he influenced a lot. But yeah, we parted ways. So then Eric was this guy who was in other local hardcore bands, and he was just a couple years older than us, but he acted like he was much older. He was always, hey man, listen to this type of guy, And so he had, he played the first SOD for us, and all this kind of. He would always have that tastemaker type of thing. So we got him. That was our next stop, was to get Eric, and then he was like a very physical kind of front man, and right there at the edge of the pit, kind of the time, definitely drove it forward a little bit. He leaned in a lot.
Makes sense. And you guys, kind of like you said, you started out playing locally. Was there a circuit in Raleigh back then?
Well, I mean, we played a few shows locally, but if you'll remember, like, it was such an organic scene that, like, you didn't necessarily have to have heard of the band. People would be like, what? It's a hardcore band from North Carolina? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Let's book them. Let's put them.
Sure.
So we would be off to Richmond immediately. We'd be off to the Norfolk area. We'd be off to New York City to we tried to play some DIY show in, Alphabet City when it was not like Fabulousville. In fact, rather dangerous. And the show got canceled because somebody got knifed. So we didn't get to play, that kind of thing.
Was that A7?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't get to play. But we were off, and we would do these shows in Philly at the Love Hall and stuff like that. So, so it was just a good time to have that kind of band because the word of mouth was so strong.
Yeah.
And then we had our little spiky skull logo. Thank you, Errol Engelbrecht.
Yeah.
So what more do you need?
This was the No Core cassette, right?
Yeah. So Eric, like our singer on that is Benji. But Eric is the is in the band Coldcore. He's the drummer.
I see how it.
And he showed Reed how to play drums. Reed was just a kid that he might like to play drums. So Woody and Eric sort of showed Reed how to play drums.
Wow.
And he took to it as like in like 6 weeks he's better than either of them.
Yeah.
He just took to it. He just took to it. He had some shitty little pawn shop drum set, and once he took to it, then he got a real drum set. But yeah, Eric could play bass, could play drums, showed us a lot of stuff. He was a tastemaker.
And here's the page from that comp, the Corrosion kind of page.
It's got some pages from a Jack Chick pamphlet.
That's great.
And we're like, this is retarded. That's hilarious.
That's great.
Oh man.
But you know,
I haven't looked at that for a minute there, Drew.
we've often talked about on the show sort of the demo tape and the comp tape and the tape trading culture back then, which was very strong. Like that tapes went back and forth.
And it was totally killing the music industry on the taping.
Yeah. Hey.
No, it was creating.
Yeah, just ask the Grateful Dead, right? With the tapes, it really destroyed them.
Really destroyed their career. Yeah.
Right.
Imagine people knowing who you are before you go there.
That's right. And yeah. And then soon after, right? Empty Skull.
Oh man, there's so many comps. Like it's hard to. I can't chronologically comment. I do remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things were.
Yeah.
That was how you heard stuff back then. Some of those comp type of.
Absolutely. And then I guess that kind of brings us to this. Could you give us any perspective on recording this? Where was it recorded?
Okay. So this was like we did that little compilation recording at a little 4-track place called Jag, and we weren't really happy with it. We didn't know what we were doing, and maybe that guy didn't quite know what he was doing. But so we were looking for a place to record, and there was a local live sound man who was kind of like, to me at the time, he seemed kind of like a burnout guy. This guy, Dave, and then he worked with another guy named Dave, and they had a studio put up in an addition behind a house here in Raleigh in Oakwood neighborhood. And they said that they would give us a real good deal because they were just looking for people to record. So we went in there, and it's like this family room with like a tall ceiling. They have like an MCI tape machine, 16-track tape machine, and a MCI desk. And so we did it, and I think maybe they talked Woody into using a different amp because his amp was too loud.
Oh boy, here we go. So
it didn't turn out terrible, but we were unhappy with it. We weren't that happy with it, but it got the point across, and it was they did a better job than some people did on DIY things back then. So you could hear the drums, and it got the point across. It wasn't terrible, but we're young, pain in the asses, so we were unhappy. So they told us that they would do the next one for free. So one half of the next album, Animosity, was recorded at their place.
Is that right?
Yeah. But then they did some other crazy shit. They talked Reed because of the number of inputs on the desk and how many mics they had and how loud Reed played cymbals. They talked him into using electronic drums for the toms. So if you listen to one side of Animosity, some of the toms are like, cool. They're like electronic. But he did a pretty good job of making them sound like drum-like. But yeah, so we got that as the deal. And then of course the other side was recorded by Bill Matoyer in Los Angeles in the period correct Slayer type of manner.
This is a good question from Alexandros over in Italy. What struck me so much when I got Eye for an Eye was that in the thank yous, you shouted out Sabbath and Clive Burr of Iron Maiden. Was the influence of metal that very strong in those early days?
I think it was. I mean, and you could, yeah, it was very strong, at least around here. And then when I listened to the Bad Brains early shit, I hear some kids that came up on like Fusion and stuff like that heard Iron Maiden and said, we can do that and mix it with some punk rock, Really, I hear so much Iron Maiden in Big Takeover and stuff like that.
Sure.
The style of drumming, like the open hat. I mean, that guy was an insane drummer. I mean, just like a real innovator. But to be an innovator, you have to like have big ears and pick up different things. So I felt like, yeah. And so Reed was definitely into the Iron Maiden for sure. And we were all into Black Sabbath like since kindergarten. So
makes sense. I think I would be amiss not to ask who designed the iconic COC logo. Like, where did this come from?
So it was us describing basically like redoing like the CDs. What is it? The British anti-nuclear protest organization had a skull that did have a Fallout symbol on it.
Huh.
And we just mentioned to a guy named Errol Engelbrecht, that we wanted to do something like that, but we wanted it to be epic, like Motorhead.
Sure.
And he just took it, put it off a little off center, made it look like that inverted cross, put all those spiky skulls. Because he was like, he was an artist. He's a great tattoo artist now, but he was that kind of like English looking crust punk with like all the nails in his leather jacket and the spikes and the, I'm putting gelatin in my fucking mohawk. And,
Yeah.
he was full of leather bristle studs and acne for sure, but he was a good artist. So he came up with that, and I think $50. I think you can see in the print that there's actually a piece of dog hair on the photocopier near the left tooth.
Right. That's great.
That would be Reed's parents' dog, Max, I think.
I mean, this sort of logo is extremely recognizable. It must have been pretty cool when people would. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it a million times. Like, look at this tattoo.
I think it was the best when Lemmy said it was the second best skull in music.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
But no, yeah, you could live in a van and you could make a few T-shirts and you could always sell that. It's just So it was fortuitous. So yeah, we owe him more than we paid him for sure.
Yeah. Well, one thing we talked about, sort of, what I remember about COC in those days, like when I was in Antidote. Well, I was in the High and the Mighty, and then Antidote in the early. You guys were road dogs, man. You guys were like constantly. You guys were not scared to get in the van, man. You guys played New York. I don't want to say constantly, but you guys played CBGBs.
Whenever they would let us.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And that helped. And especially with the slight 1 foot in the metal, thing, crossover kind of game, which, I mean, that's free publicity because a lot of people who are just, we're purely in this punk rock hardcore kind of game. Oh, they're dabbling in metal. So they would talk about it, and talk is publicity, and basically most publicity is good. So
sure.
Thank you.
Here's a show. I think this is 86. COC Leeway, and I believe Astoria Lou, correct me if I'm wrong, this is Leeway's first ever show, and also Articles of Faith from Chicago. Any CBGB memories for you?
Oh, I mean, that place was epic. Just nowhere to go. You don't have a hotel. You just roll into town, so you're just hanging out there on the Bowery. Woody getting some rice pudding from the crappy deli, like right there. Just hanging out in the street, meeting all the people. That guy, the one guy, I can't remember his name from Leeway. Like I don't think we ever called him by his name. We just called him Nutley because they're from Nutley. Just called this dude, hey, Nutley.
Back then you were, depending on where you were from, that was your name, right?
Yeah, yo, Nutley.
Here's
I think the neighborhood has changed a little bit, Drew.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, we're when are we playing? We're playing this Sunday, man. We're playing the Bowery Electric on Sunday. We do these free all ages Sunday matinees. We have one on Sunday, man, which is Jesse Mallon's place. The corner now it's Joey Ramone place now. So
I saw a picture of that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And these matinees, we do keep the spirit alive.
What's the address of the Bowery? Where's the Bowery Electric in relation to where CB's was?
Half a block away.
Nice.
Right there, bro. It's right there. It's literally right there. Yeah, Astoria Lou says it was CB's first show. Here's another one from '95, and this is at L'Amour's. And I think you were talking a little bit about the crossover.
Rock capital of Brooklyn, bud.
Yeah, the rock L'Amour's, the rock capital of Brooklyn.
One of them we did there was like one of the first, like, oh, okay. So yeah, that was a trip. That was culture shock. Like I'd never been into the kind of Bensonhurst Italiano iteration of heavy metal, whole world. And it was like, okay, people are cool to us. That's cool. I like it. But like, even though we're kind of bringing our crossover thing or whatever it is, everybody's cool, everybody's friendly. But like later on, after I quit COC and they had Carl as the singer, I had this band called Spore when I was living in Philly. And he said, yeah, you want to come play Lemoore's with us? I'm like, yeah. So they talked the guys from Lemoore's into having us, but the owner, or the main manager, he wasn't so sure. So he's like, Carl, who is this Spore? Because he looked around the area. He's like, oh, no, they're a famous band. It's cool. And one of the bands on the bill was one of the first shows by Life of Agony.
Oh, yes, of course.
And so I've never seen anything like that. The singer's like getting carried around by the crowd. He's like, take me to the bar. And they took him to the bar and shit. I was like, whoa.
Well, they were a Brooklyn band, like Biohazard.
Most Brooklyn band, dude.
Yeah, they that's some home cook. That's some home cooking right there.
Around to the bar of Lemoore's. That's
Just there you go, Johanna, who is one of Life of Agony's merch people. So there you go. There you go. Here you go. Look, DRI, AOD, and COC on the same bill.
Adrenaline OD were like.
Yeah,
pretty good band. That was like top of their game at that point, man. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
They were fantastic. Just heading down the timeline a little bit. I want to ask. I want to get to Animosity, and here's the back of it, right? Animosity was on Metal Blade, right?
Yeah, or Death. So it's Metal Blade. I mean, I get a small check occasionally from Metal Blade, but if you look at the label, it says Death Records, which is what they put some of their like, well, this is not really metal.
Right.
So,
right.
Whatever you want to do, man. But yeah. So, but effectively, yes, it's Metal Blade.
Yeah, this is hold on, where's the cover? Here it is. This is not really metal, and we don't want to upset like the metal people.
Yeah.
You know, who
we don't want to upset the Nasty Savage fans or whatever.
Yeah,
the hell they put out back then. Like, I know they put out Trouble and Slayer, so hats off to them for that.
Yeah, the purists. Could you give us any perspective on this?
Well, I mean,
recording it or just was this a good time for the band?
It was, because I mean, at some point, things were kind of falling apart with Eric as our singer, in terms of him not getting along and with us as much, and him being kind of like drinking a lot, like literally like being like shit-faced a lot, and it's hard to get stuff done. So somehow it was decided, and he's kind of a tough dude and he's kind of volatile. Somehow it was decided that I would tell him that he was no longer with the band. Kind of not that smart and worrisome, and kept me like looking over my shoulder for decades, but it had to be done. So I told him. So then it was like Reed and I tag team singing. I mean, I'm doing like most of it, but he's doing a lot of it too. And it's about 40-60, and the shit he sings is really the better stuff. But like, so yeah, we had to generate some stuff, and I thought like we kind of rallied and we all worked together on lyrics and stuff like that, and it fell together, and we were finding our groove, and I thought that's the point where his drumming really started to take off, and I thought it turned out well. Like I said, we did half of it in Raleigh at the place where we did Eye for an Eye, and then did the second half in at a place called a place on East Sunset, where at one point the Beach Boys had recorded.
Oh, is on
yeah.
That's not
small place.
I know. I almost know
it'll pop into my head.
Something with with an R. It's not
It'll pop into my head. Sure.
Okay.
I'm going out sideways looking at me, but anyway, with Bill Matoyer, who had recorded like, the Trouble record that we liked and the two Slayer records that we liked, and that whole Metal Blade thing came about because we played a show with Slayer in Baltimore.
Track Records.
Yeah, Track Records. Yeah, good. Yeah, you probably just Googled that. So but anyway, yeah, it was a real trip, and it was a real old time place. It was interesting, and it was great meeting Bill and all that. But the reason that we were able to have that opportunity is because we played a show in Baltimore at a place called the New Loft with Slayer, and they're on tour in a Trans Am and a box truck. All the gear, massive amount of gear in a box truck, rider truck, and they're in a Trans Am.
Wow.
Just the dudes and sound guy. So we were playing with the Obsessed in the middle, the original Obsessed. The Obsessed would become
With Wino. With
Wino and the
Yeah.
OG Duke Maryland lineup.
Sure.
I didn't know them. They would later become my favorite fucking band as like the California version. But so they did not want to play before. They did not want to go on before a punk band. They said they would not play before a punk band. They would not play before a COC. For whatever reason, yeah, it's your state. Yeah, you're.
Excuse me. COC was a punk band?
To them, yeah, right. So whatever. They didn't want to go on. They didn't want to open for us. So Slayer said, "Okay, fine, you close the show." So we played. Slayer played. 90% of the people left, and
Sure.
played. So we all do stubborn things in life, whatever. So they stuck to their guns, and it was lonely. But later on, like, once about the time you get to like Church Within, that's like a revelation to me. Their music, like all that kind of shit. But I didn't know Pentagram or anything at that point. I didn't know the Obsessed. But so at that show, that was the point where Slayer's like, if you guys want to be on Metal Blade, we could talk that guy into it for sure. And we didn't know any better. We didn't know about getting paid, so we're like, sure. So we had some music out. It turned out good. It was Animosity, and that was. I'm still proud of that record. I thought it turned out well.
And hey, Mike DeJean, I see you out there, buddy. give me 1 minute. We're gonna bring a guest on in a second, but I think we should just touch on this because I feel like he might ask about this, which now Simon Bob sang on this, right?
Yeah.
And his tenure was fairly short.
It was it went on like after I quit, and they had some songs they were working on and stuff like that. But yeah, it was fairly short.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like releases, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did a version of that with me and Reed singing,
Right.
and somehow it was decided, well, our buddy from the Ugly Americans could sing this, so we can just really lean in and play. And so it's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. It was a little bit of a sidestep from what we were doing. So
is that the 8 song? Is that the 6 songs with Mike singing? Is that from this?
No, that's
Did you?
That came out after I quit.
Okay.
And it was recorded just like we thought we would re-record some Eye for an Eye songs.
I see.
In a different style. Like it was kind of Reed's idea. Like, all right, we'll do it. So then nothing became of it, and I quit the band. And then
I think I got it. Did you record this twice? The first time with you singing?
We did. Portions of it, maybe like half of it. Yeah. And then there's at some point there was an extended version released that has the earlier versions, and
Capiche.
some of them are good, man. Some of them are good. They're a
Yeah.
little more feral.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah. So that said, I want to bring on a friend, and in doing the show, I believe it or not, I heard from a lot of the guys from Astoria, Queens, that said that COC and the 2 records we just talked about were a huge influence in the hardcore and metal kids in Astoria, Queens. So I want to bring on Mike DeJean, who just produced the new Agnostic Front record and plays in Crown of Thorns. DeJean.
Hey, how's it going, Drew?
It's good. Good to see you, buddy.
Just leaving the beach right now.
Are you in Rockaway?
Rockaway Beach, yeah.
Nice. How's the waves?
As a Queens person should.
Right. Hey, I know you. I know you're a big COC, fan, and so please, any questions? Any perspective?
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to thank Mike for basically changing the trajectory of my life. So. And for all the music over the years, and how that trajectory was changed, as you mentioned, like all the Astoria guys, we all went together, to the COC Leeway show at CBGB's. This is in '86 when they were no, actually '86. It was the second time that COC had come around touring on the Animosity record, and I was blown away because I'd never heard a band that loud. I never even referred to it as a band. It would sound just more like a force than actual guys playing instruments to me. And then that was my first hardcore show ever that I had ever been to in my life. So and then the band, after they had played, were just very approachable. I was like smoking weed with Reed, like right after they got off stage. So just that experience made me feel totally different about music in general, and I just felt welcome in that environment, and it just changed everything for me.
Wow.
So that's kind of how we came up with seeing Black Flag or whatever. They're very approachable too initially, 1982, 1983.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I want to ask, like touring on Animosity, coming up to New York. I mean, I know you touched a little bit with it with Drew before, but what was that like? Having New York almost as like a second home to be able to play that record out.
Well, I mean, initially it was just exciting to get the opportunity to play there, and of course you heard of CBGB's or whatever place we were playing, but yeah, people were very warm and very receptive to the music, so it was, it was a good time. And also our the guy that would mix us on tour was one of the house audio guys at CBGB's, Stevie McAllister, and he later ended up he didn't get much credit for it, but he was one of the engineers on Blind.
Oh, wow.
Made that record sound like that. I mean, John Custer was about the performances and making sure that this is in tune and that guitar. But as far as the songs of it, it was the guys from Baby Monster, Stephen McAllister, and I believe the other guy's name is Garrett. I have to look that up. But
wow.
So that guy Stevie had a cheap place down on Wall Street way back then until recently, and so one of the few residences down that way. And so having him mix us, on familiar territory, he knew how to get that PA to zero. To get everything out of it. And
were you guys? Did you guys have a nickname called the Decibel Demons?
Oh, I don't know. That sounds like something out of like a Rip magazine or something.
It was a question asked to me because you guys had played so loud, like almost like Motorhead loud.
It was kind of loud, yeah. Like Woody had, he had some cabinets. I had a couple cabinets. Yeah.
Well, Woody's a big influence on me personally as a player. So let me ask, what brought Pusshead into the mix to do the artwork on Animosity?
I think he may have curated one of those hardcore compilations, and so then at that point, Reed was, in touch with him. So we saw a lot of his art, especially from reading skate magazines and things like that. So I think it was just easy enough for Reed to ask him if he could do it, and then he was happy to do it. And since it was on the Metal Blade Records, we had a slight budget. So yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, I gotta say, in all of 80s crossover and thrash, this is one of the most iconic album covers in existence.
I think everything just kind of fell together, and that was part of it. So
yeah.
We're lucky to be there then doing that and coming into some level of competence.
Absolutely. And then moving on to Technocracy. Yeah, I know. You had touched on bringing Simon Bob into the mix. What was the inspiration to record Hungry Child again on that EP?
Good question. personally, I felt that it was redundant, but you know, we have to make compromises. I haven't listened to that version in a minute, so I'd have to listen to it to give you my current up to date.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just somebody like Reed, especially, was like, you know, one of the reasons he's so good at what he did is because he was not easily satisfied with stuff and didn't want to just let it go. He wanted to make it better. So that was just an expression of him wanting to make it better, whether it did or not.
Right.
I don't know, but it's just that compulsion, and that's why he was good. That's because he would spend every minute. He had a real easy job working for his parents. Sometimes he had to do some work selling some sawmill parts, but for the most part, he sat there in that office with that free long distance phone, making calls to the band, booking the band, and air drumming, thinking about the songs that we had just come up with, thinking about what that part was, focusing on music in this weird ADD kind of way. That was that guy. He was super focused on that. And
as
sometimes it presents itself in weird ways, like, yeah, I want to record this song again, even though it's already out there. But
as we all know, right, Mike, it's great to have that guy in your band. Right?
yeah, we had a couple of those guys in the band.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfair sometimes.
I mean, so, as someone who's like a big COC fan, I love hearing different versions of different songs, and I actually had all these questions written down that about like doing half of Animosity somewhere, having a different producer for the other, using the guy from Slayer, and listening to these things years later. I love going through them just to hear how they are, as formative songs, as refined songs, and all versions of them to me are great. So, that, like, all these different versions are awesome. I got a question, like in this timeline where you had departed right before the Blind record, you started a band called Snake Nation, and there's some tracks on that just like that are just blistering. Like, how did that come about? That band?
Well, that was kind of like Woody and I were working on some songs for COC, but then I was kind of out of COC, and we felt like we could, at that point, we could probably get a recording deal to just do that music. So we brought in a friend of ours who's just he's like a fan who had moved to North Carolina from Simi Valley because he knew us, and he was a friend of ours. And this guy Brian Walsby played drums.
The artist.
Yeah, the cartoon, the punk rock cartoon artist. In 2 seconds he could draw Kevin Seconds, and you would know who he was. Yeah,
that's right.
So now he does other stuff, but and I see him all the time. So we thought we'd rehearse these songs and get them together, write a few more, and I think if we would have recorded at a better place, it might be something I'd be more inclined to listen to. But I thought some of the material was really good.
It's fantastic.
The song history lesson I thought was real good. Yeah, I can remember that. If I came up with that riff today, I would still think it was pretty good. What I'm doing, man.
Hey, Dejan, thanks, man.
You're welcome. Mike, thanks again for all your music, and
thanks for the
good luck in all your endeavors.
Thanks,
hey, Dejan, when's your Agnostic Front produced record coming out?
It drops November 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And before then, we have a single dropping November 14th with a music video and a very, very special guest on it.
And I will not mention who that is, but he has been a guest on this show.
Yeah. Right. So so I'm excited for one. I'm really honored to have been able to contribute to that record.
Yeah, congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
It's a good moment for that.
Yeah, I mean, like in this moment in time, you know, like the AF, like their message has always been like speaking up, like in times like this. So it all the lyrical content and like the aggression of the record is pretty much on par with things happening today. And I'm just excited for my friends to hear it, and you know, and for everyone else to. But yeah, like in less than a month, it'll be out there
I was
on Radio Phoenix. What's that?
I was talking to Raj last night about the whole thing. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. All right,
Dejan, the pride of Astoria, Queens. We'll talk to you soon, Mike. Dejan.
All right. Take care. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
All right, that was cool. A little. He was. As soon as I announced you were on the show, he was so passionate and so excited. So
man, of exceptionally good taste.
Yeah. Hey, before we take a sponsor break, I want to ask you about what you remember about this infamous show at the Ritz in New York City. This was Discharge, DRI, COC, and Youth of Today. And this was like the infamous Discharge show when they were sort of glam or whatever. And people were
kind of they showed up in kind of acid wash jeans.
Yeah.
Changed all their songs. It was like that in defense of our future.
Yeah. Right.
And so it was like everything had like a slight Motley Crue vibe to it, but yet they were doing some of the old songs and people were not happy.
No.
People threw objects and stuff.
People were freaked.
They were like bummed. Yeah. I preferred Discharge when I saw them like 2 years before. Was fortunate enough to see them 2 years before at the 930 Club.
Yeah, this was an infamous show here in New York. People were not having it.
It was rebellion. That was the first time I ever heard Youth of Today.
What an interesting bill. Youth of Today, COC, DRI, and
Glam. Cover all our bases. Make sure somebody comes.
Yeah. Yep. That said, hey, let me take a sponsor break. You got a couple minutes. You up to maybe about 10, could be about 7-8 minutes. So if you need to get up, whatever, and we'll come back and let's talk about deliverance and we'll continue on our journey.
All right, I'll hang out.
Thanks, man. All right, what's up? The New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. I hope you're enjoying it. I really am. Good to see everybody out there. Jose, Paul Stone, thanks for being a part of it. We just had Mike Dejan on. Chris Contos. Chris Contos, am I going to see you next week? 2 weeks, I guess, when we're out playing in San Francisco. Let's do some sponsor stuff. Let's talk about some upcoming shows, and we will continue on our journey. Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections of music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that. But the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, to obtain. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth. Society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
And we're back. Hey, I want to thank everybody out there for supporting the show. We've been at it a long time, and there's an ebb and a flow to this thing. And it seems like lately there's been some weird algorithms out there in Facebook, and I haven't been able to get the show link out the way that I used to. So it's really nice to see a lot of people hanging in there and finding the show, whatever that takes, and supporting the show. Because, as you know, if you've been around for a minute, this show is basically funded by your generosity. And if you would like to be a part of our Patreon support army, please do so. You know what I need to do? They have a thing now. I could put up the what do you call it? The QR code. That would help. I want to shout out our latest patrons, Clockwork Mike and Momo the Old, and everybody on Patreon and everybody else that just supports the show. You light up my life and make it all worthwhile. So thank you. That said, there's the Patreon page. There's the PayPal address. If you have a question for our guest, there's a super chat function. Don't be shy. Let it fly. Spend a couple bucks. The show needs your support. Right, John? I found that YouTube has been weird with its reach too. Some weird shit's going on, but you know what? This world's full of weird shit, you know? So it seems like now that there's some sort of a weird, they got a hang up about the show in a couple of realms. I'm trying to figure out how to get around it, but listen, we're still here. People, if you want to see the show, you find the show. I mean, that's what's up. Want to mention you're looking forward to the 400 show. Well, so am I. Let's talk about upcoming shows. There is a bunch of them. There is no show a week from today because we're going to be doing IDs playing down at the Bowery Electric with the non-residents Dead Blow Hammer featuring Rob Kabula, formerly of Agnostic Front, Overstand featuring Todd the Kid, formerly of Warzone, Steel Toe Solution featuring Travis of the Hub City Stompers. So we will be back here a week from Wednesday with our friend Zach Thorne from Bulldoze, Agents of Man, Homicidal, Scarhead, and Truth and Rights. Rest in peace, Eddie Sutton. Jared O'Connell from the Rousers will be on to talk about the old CBs and Greg Gildersleeve days, Wednesday, October 22nd. Yo, you asked for it, you got it. Show number 400 with our old friend and supporter, Brian Baker, currently in Bad Religion, formerly in Minor Threat. Not so sure where Dag Nasty stands. That is Sunday, October 26th. Sunday, November 2nd, Dave Ingram from Benediction and Bolt Thrower. A little Side Trips episode with Steve Wynn of the Dream Syndicate, celebrating the 40th anniversary edition of the Dream Syndicate Medicine Show. I'm looking forward to this. Thank God, doing something a little different. Let's get down. Chris Ryfort from Autopsy, Death, and Abscess on Sunday, November 16th. Dr. Chud, formerly of the Misfits, currently of the Karens, on Sunday, November 23rd. Yo, this dude turned up. Harry G. Angus turned up. So there you go. This is happening. Harry G. Angus, author of the Encyclopedia of Jerry Garcia Music Venues. Another Side Trips episode, Sunday, November 30th. Oh, John Bush is coming on. Armored Saint, Anthrax, and Category 7, co-hosted by Laurie Dawn. Peter Bywaters of Peter and the Test Tube Babies, Wednesday, September 10th. And then John Gallagher had to reschedule from Raven. So all this and more. Speaking of the Dead Boys, all this and more. So there you go. That said, let's bring our guest back on, Mr. Mike D. Hey, man.
Hello again.
Hello. Hello, it's me. I thought about. Hey, does Mike D? What's a? I hate to use guilty pleasure, but is musically? Is there something like, wow, Mike D listens to Todd Rundgren? Like, is there something that like you've always?
Shoot, like something not. I don't know what would be really. I'm not really embarrassed of anything. What would be embarrassing?
Well, of course not, but you know what I mean.
Not really. I mean, like really cornball, Waylon Jennings sometimes.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
it's really corny country music. That's about
like what's David Allan Coe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's trying too hard, man.
Is that right?
Yeah, maybe so. Some of that stuff's actually pretty good.
I mean, I'm a city dude. Like I'm born and raised in New York City. So if David Allan Coe to me,
some of that early David Allan Coe is musically sound and I dig it. Right. After a while, it got to be kind of a shtick.
Yeah, there's here's
I call it a white exploitation shtick.
That makes sense.
Stereotypes.
So you stepped away from the band, I guess around, was that 88, 89?
Late 87, 88.
What could you glean us on what led to that? Why?
Just, I think kind of like that little misfire with technocracy type of thing. We're just trying different formats and also just being on tour a lot. And we hadn't really figured out how to turn that notoriety into income. It was getting tough. Yeah. And I just wanted to try something different. And I ended up playing music with William that sings for Alice in Chains now. Went to Atlanta.
William Duvall.
William Duvall, yeah. Went to Atlanta and got a weird band together called Final Offering for a few months. And with this drummer who used to be in the Atlanta hardcore band called DDT. Mm-hmm. And that was interesting for a minute. And then, I met a nice girl from Philadelphia. I ended up moving up there. Had a great career delivering things on my bicycle, and
somebody mentioned
living in a squat with some weirdos. And and then we got a little bike messenger band together called Spore. And
hey, Mike Gitter just as you said that, Mike Gitter said Spore. Yeah. Cool name. Good name.
But there was another band on Pop Narcotic from Boston called Spore, and they threatened to cease and desist us. And we were like, well, we could keep it. So then we changed it to Nine Finger. But that was with Rich Hoke, who was later in Brutal Truth. Like a minute later, he was in Brutal Truth. So anyway.
Hey man, we're the real Spore.
So while all that was going on, Simon Bob drifted away, and COC, had a guy named Pepper Keenan come up to try out for vocals. Yeah. That didn't work out, but they kept him around on guitar because they liked him. And that's when they got Carl from School of Violence to come down and sing. And they did that Blind record, which I think was great. I mean, I heard that and I was like, oh, this is pretty mind-blowingly good. It's really sounds like classic rock with some Bad Brains type drumming and some,
sure.
Had a lot of that eye against eye kind of drum stuff, and just that was cool. But little like Deep Purple and meets hardcore,
Yeah.
But that kind of leads into Deliverance because they did that. It was amazing, and they got to be semi-famous and they got to go to Europe and stuff like that. And but then it fell apart when they tried to repeat that trick. Mm-hmm. And just they had all these song structures recorded, and the vocals weren't coming together, and the lyrical ideas weren't coming together, and they parted ways with Phil and Carl, and they pretty much didn't really have a band going at that point. And I was in contact with Reed and stuff, and he's wondering if I wanted to come play bass. So even though I had this great career delivering things on my bicycle in Philadelphia,
in the city of brotherly love.
so much love, free housing. Everybody be silent. The gas company's here, that kind of place.
Don't let him see you.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much soaked up all the brotherly love that I could stand at that point. So
Right.
I thought I'd come try it. And they were still trying to get a singer. They were like, at the time, you had your Village Voice and your Bay Area Music Magazine, your local weekly entertainment paper, right? They were advertising in those all over the country. We need a singer. So all these randos sent their CD or their cassette and their photograph because they thought they were going to be famous. And some of the shit was sort of appropriate, but most of it was just utter trash.
Like what? Like Vince Neil type shit? Like
wannabe, like third rate. Yeah.
Right.
And, so that, it's pretty down there. Yeah. Like lots of photographs, do with a battle axe and shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that kind of
All
that kind of
random shit. It's shit people back then before the internet thought would make them famous.
Right.
So we suggested to Pepper, like, well, y'all did that one song on Blind, Vote with a Bullet. Perhaps you could sing and we could help. Which is probably what he wanted us to say all along, I hope, But so we talked him into it, and we were doing that. They had already recorded those drums.
Right.
And so we went to Greensboro, North Carolina. I put my bass on it. And then, like, the day that Kurt Cobain died, we got the word that Relativity, the label that was putting it out, was purchased by Sony Music.
How about that?
Columbia Records. And so we went and finished the record at Electric Lady.
Talk about falling up, right?
On 6th Street.
That is incredible.
By the shoe stores where Jimi Hendrix used to hang out.
Hell yeah! It's hold on. Let me get a visual. Hold on.
That curved brick,
Yeah,
the curved brick modernist facade on the 18.
Listen, that was a go-to for us when we were kids, man. We would sneak out of school, take the train downtown, wander off at 8th Street, and go to Electric Lady and go into that vestibule there, and smoke a joint in Jimi Hendrix's name.
Smoke a Lower Manhattan pin joint, and
that's what we would do. Like a bunch of punks who cut out of school from the Bronx, we would take the train down, and we'd come down 8th Street, and that would be part of the routine. You go into the vestibule at Electric Lady and smoke a joint, and then
you were raised right. You were raised right.
We're hanging out in the Village.
Yeah. So that was revealing. So I put my bass on it, and those drum tracks were recorded at a place called Southern Tracks in Atlanta, where Brendan O'Brien used to work.
Right
Before he got to be a famous engineer. So they sound really good, and everything sounded epic. And so, I didn't write any riffs on that, but I supplied some counterpoint, and then Pepper got to work doing vocals, and I thought it sounded good. I'm really proud of it.
I mean, what an incredible story! It's like you guys are kind of toiling away. What kind of strikes me as incredible is you're kind of toiling away without a singer, and the label gets bought up. And you, even without a singer, you find yourselves on Sony with more than expected support, and you end up putting Deliverance out, and it's a fantastic record. It went gold. It was that's a great record, man.
Yes, I thought it turned out good, and it was an interesting experience. That's where they took a lot of time doing things to make it to that level, especially like the guitars and the vocal. So it was a lot of time in a big studio, like just with my mouth shut, just observing how all that works. So it was, I got to see how that stuff is really done. So that was.
And you sing on the song Deliverance.
Yeah. Which the riff is actually, thank you, Phil Swisher came up with that riff.
Ah.
Phil Swisher, who had just quit the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Phil Swisher played bass. Yeah.
played bass, on Blind, and
Yeah.
we're starting to on Deliverance, so that was kind of an extension of Blind in a way with how it started, and then things
And
fell apart again.
well, and also the Albatross video, which is a fantastic. It's a great. It was a great video. It's just a great video. Was that kind of surprising? Like that sort of. It must have been an exciting time when the sail filled with wind, and it was like the video's great, and it was.
Well, we talked them into, we want to make a video that looks like Pink Floyd live at Pompeii.
Nice.
And somebody's like, let me look for sites. I'll call around. They're like, there's a quarry across the George Washington Bridge.
Is that right? In my notes.
Yeah, that's like that's like up your childhood home way, but just
Wait, hold on. Let me go to the notes. Albatross is a great video. Where was it shot? I was like, where is this?
Some quarry, like literally, like
in Jersey.
I'd say 10 minutes. 10 minutes from.
Anybody out there know where in New Jersey the COC Albatross video was shot?
Come on, where's that quarry?
Come on, where was that quarry? I'm going there tomorrow with my wife.
Yeah. Then we had to round up some obsolete, broken PA stuff that had the weird air jet engine looking like
sure. The cones,
Dude,
yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And I wanted to ask you, producer John Custer, how does he fit into the Corrosion and Conformity story?
Well, I think the thing about Custer is, I think he fits in starting with Blind, and at that point, I was kind of surprised to hear that level of musicality out of them because they're just not that schooled. But he's the one that could hear like the beauty in what he's playing and just say, well, you're doing this, why don't you do it up here, change that to this. He just start little by little, he just cataloged the cool things that Woody did and say, hey, do that here, no, do that too up here. And pretty soon, in like a few weeks later, Woody's like not only the original personality type of Greg Ginn-like player that he was, but like, or the guy who could bend it into key like Tony Iommi, but he became like super legit with Custer's. Custer was about getting the performance and it being, definitely walking Pepper through a vocal. It was really hard for Pepper because right before I quit this time, we were about to do a record and Custer said he couldn't do it. And it would be the first time Pepper had ever cut a record, vocals on a record without Custer. He was like stressed about it. But obviously, he got his friend Warren Riker, and it's turned out fine. They're about to release a record, but
is that the next record, Wise Blood?
Oh no, I'm talking about the record that they're about to release. Next week.
The one that's coming out. Yeah. Excuse me.
It'd be the first one since Blind.
Right.
That did not have John Custer involved.
Sure.
We called him and asked him about it, and he said that his tinnitus was so severe. He came to the studio when we were doing demos and said, "Man, I just can't take it. It's making my ears ring. I gotta take a break from this shit."
Wow.
Yeah.
You have any hearing issues?
I've been wearing not too bad, man. I've been wearing protection for about 20, 25 years. So I'm pretty good for an old guy, man. I mean,
good for you.
I will say that my right ear probably, if you scope it out, some of the high end is gone just from having Reed Mullen to my right.
Sure.
Before I wore that stuff and these bashing cymbals, destroying and breaking Sabian cymbals. So that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of punishment. But as far as most people that have done what I've done do, like not too much.
You're fortunate. I'm wearing hearing aids these days.
Oh shit! I mean,
now and then. So,
yeah. I mean, it's yeah, you got to try to protect the kids. Kids, if
Yeah.
you're listening.
Yeah. Hey, here's a project that I was involved in this a little bit. That came out talking about Sabbath.
Yeah.
I shot the EPK for this, and I also produced the Biohazard After Forever video. This was a cool.
wow.
This was a great project, huh?
There's some good stuff on there, man.
Yeah, this was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys do? Into the
Lord
Void?
of this world.
Oh, Lord of this world.
And we did it at some point, the place where we did that cassette tape that you opened the show with the burning flag on it, Jag Studios. At some point, that place, tiny as it was, got augmented into like having a Studer tape machine and having like some Neve mic pre's and turning into like a very small studio, but like a well-equipped studio. So we did that at Jag, the first place we ever recorded as a band. And to tape. And so it has some similarities to the Master of Reality type of the way he's hitting the tape and all that. Yeah. That's a pretty good cover. I like that.
Yeah,
cover.
it's cool. It's a cool record. There was even a sequel to it. That had some cool stuff. And whoever's in charge of Columbia, I guess this was Columbia, Bob Japardi was involved. If you're out there, hey, send me my gold record for this, please. I'd like to put it on the wall. And send Mike one too while you're at it.
You have to buy that shit now, bro.
Yeah, I know.
They make you pay for gold records you get. Platinum records they might hook you up with. Gold records you got to pay for now. It's like $300 from the trophy.
You know what? I'll pay for it. Yeah. I got a hole in my wall. I sold my Insane Clown Posse record. So some crazy juggalo kid just like got crazy with me.
I gotta have this.
Yeah, like I'm opening up a juggalo museum, and I'm like, bro, I'm not selling my gold records. I'm fucking not selling my gold records.
I'm going on vacation, bro. I'm really excited. I'm going to the Juggalo Museum.
So the kid kept making me offer. It was during the pandemic. I'm like, look. So then I just made him some crazy offer. I'm like, yo, bro, you want to give me this amount cash? I'll meet you halfway in a parking lot, and you can have it. And he goes, okay. And I was like, all right.
Holy shit!
Everything's for sale here. Welcome to the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. My life's an open book. That said, is it safe to say that Wise Blood, I mean, obviously continuing the momentum from Deliverance?
Yeah. I mean, artistically, so this whole Sony Music Columbia experiment.
Yeah.
So yeah, they signed us. They actually bought the label. They bought the label Relativity, and they took on a bunch of projects that the guys from A&R there did. That were, some of them were like Eric type of projects. Took these Eric and Relativity projects to Columbia, and it just seemed like Columbia at the time was like, we need to have the next Nirvana, so we're gonna buy up some shit and try it out. But if you're on Columbia, like Wise Blood, that's like 1996. If you're not doing like Mariah Carey like numbers and sales, it's just you're not gonna. So my whole sense the whole time is like, guys, let's enjoy this. Let's go to record at cool places. Let's make sure we go to Electric Lady again. Let's go to Criteria. Let's do the classic rock. Let's give it its best. So we kind of already had the sense like, well, let's just get what we can out of it. Yeah. And pretty soon after that, it was clear that wasn't going to go on. But we got the ride out of it. We went to some swank places to record.
We got a couple of sushi dinners out of it, right?
Totally, man. I'm sure they got expense back to us, and it's the reason why I'm just seeing sales money from these records like today.
It's all cross collateralized. It's all cross collateralized, and it's coming out.
I'm gonna order the extra.
Oh, it's coming out of your ass. The toilet paper in the office. Put it on Corrosion's bill, right? Yeah.
So it's real, but it's not real. But yeah, we had some great people that worked there that were really about the music, and they were in the same kind of situation they were. They're like, well, let's ride this and see what we can do. Let's try to put out an Obsessed record on Columbia Records and see how that flies, right?
Yeah.
Josh Sarabin, thank you. Jim Welsh, thank you. Marianne Malone, thank you. all the cool people that we dealt with from Sony.
Yeah.
You know?
You mentioned, okay, here's a tie-in with this. You ready?
Okay.
So you mentioned I brought it up, David Allan Coe. And David Allan Coe early on had a guitarist in his band named Warren Haynes. And of course, Warren Haynes,
very young Warren Haynes,
a very young Warren Haynes before he joined the Allman Brothers Band. But he plays on I was listening to this doing my homework this week, and I'm listening. I'm like, God damn, man! Like Pepper can really play fucking slide guitar. and then I was like,
that.
It sort of came around, and I was like, oh right, Warren Haynes. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird story. So
please tell us, because I've crossed paths with Warren. He used to live down on Houston Street. A really nice guy.
Yeah. So when he lived in New York, before we were totally shit canned from Columbia, we were making some demos, and we did Stare Too Long as a demo, and somehow somebody knew Warren's manager and called her up and got him to come down and play on this song, but we couldn't use this is at Chungking, by the way.
Chungking House of Metal, home
where
Slayer and the Beastie Boys recorded.
This is the day that we met Warren Riker, who would do a bunch of Down records with Pepper, who just did this new COC record that I got nothing to do with. So Warren came down and recorded on this, and then we went our ways, and then we took the tracks and we put them on the new version. So I hope he likes his phrasing. It still sounds like it's the same tempo, more or less.
Oh, I see.
This record here, this is America's Volume Dealer, is the first record we ever did in a program called Pro Tools.
Ooh, AKA back then, Slow Tools. Right?
Totally Slow Tools. Hey, I got a version from 2013 that's like, all HD. I call it Slow Tools because it gets a little, sounds great then. But yeah, this was during the Slow Tools era where it would just take a shit on you randomly. Like you get a little bomb signal, and just 4 hours of work could be gone. And that was with the system that would cost you tens of thousands of dollars. It was not fully baked at that point.
Sure. I remember being in the recording studio, I think with Biohazard, when they were doing something for Warner Brothers, and they would, you'd leave it rendering overnight.
Oh yeah, early days, especially like the predecessor Sound Tools.
That's right.
Yeah,
you let it render overnight, like 8 hours, and then you come in the next day and you're like,
you want to see how it sounded, and you're like, oh, it sucked. Yeah,
and you'd be fucked.
Yeah, the little wristwatch icon.
Oh man, this shit was fucked up.
Leave the computer on and lock the door.
It's incredible how it's really how that technology is like boom, 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 boom. It moves
look at this technology we're talking about.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's technology right there. So that said, sort of winding down the COC story. A couple more records, and I know Pepper leaves, and you guys continue. You start singing again.
Yeah, we did our little 3-piece thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What brought that about?
Well, Reed and I were playing in a band called Righteous Fool. Just a clip you showed off the top, and COC was doing not very much because Pepper was always on tour with Down, etc. So we talked Woody into doing a 3-piece album, and then we did another one, and we toured around a bit.
Was In the Arms of God the first one?
No, In the Arms of God, that is before what I'm talking about.
This is the last one before Pepper split.
Yeah, that is just on the heels of America's Volume Dealer, and this In the Arms of God is a good one, man. I'm proud of that one. That's like Reed was not available to do it, and so we got Pepper's childhood friend Stanton Moore from New Orleans to play some drums, and we went down to New Orleans he played in that band Galactic. We went down to their rehearsal space and tracked a record there, and I thought those are some of Pepper's best lyrics. I like the grooves on the song, or like all the songs are good. Yeah, I'm really proud of that one. Cool. And what you got there, that's the what do you call it? Eponymous, the
Yeah.
self-titled Corrosion of Conformity from that we recorded in Dave Grohl's Studio 606.
Right. And the Dave Grohl was that the Dave Grohl connection, was that before, after, or during you did the Probot track?
It was after the Probot thing. Yeah, it's just Reed was Reed just kind of knew everybody in the scene, and he broke Scream here in North Carolina, and Grohl was kind of a fan of his drumming, and so they knew each other for a while. So he got to hook up with the studio there. That Probot thing was weird. I mean, I never sat in the room with Dave or anything like that. They sent us a tiny reel of 2-inch tape, and John Custer and I went into the Jag studio I talked about, and I just did like, a hardcore thing, and I was kind of like, I was watching the TV was on. I saw Access Hollywood. I'm like, Access Babylon. I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of Bad Brains, doesn't it?
There
and
you go.
Came up with some lyrics in about 15 minutes, and then sang that in about 10 minutes, and there she goes. I like that record. That record has Eric Wagner on it. It's
an eclectic album for sure.
Yeah, it's got some good shit. And who the guitar player on most of those songs is Bubba Dupree from the DC hardcore band Void.
Ooh.
Plays all over that Probot. Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right. He
I
plays
did not know that.
On anything that doesn't have a celebrity guitar player like, Wino. That's the guy.
Bubba Dupree of Void.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. An old. I saw Void back in the day. They talk about kind
chaotic,
of
man.
Trailblazers. There, I was like, huh?
Yeah, totally chaotic.
That was like way over my head back then. As like a young hardcore dude. I was like, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not.
Yeah. It wasn't like. Yeah. The Probot record's so killer, it plays like an amazing comp record. Yeah. Hey, so I see that's
I think that's what he was going for, the vibe of like Metal Maniacs 41,
You're right.
Metal Massacre 46.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen your Hardcore Legends trading card?
I have, yeah.
Very cool, huh?
I thought I was more handsome than that. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, it's good.
He's great. He does a great job. And here's the back of it, which actually helped me when he seems to have the ability to go even deeper than me with the research. But there's the back of it, with all this other great stuff.
I got it somewhere.
Yeah. Good stuff. That's a new one, he said. Okay, cool. So that said, just before we take a quick sponsor break and come back and take some questions from around the world, how did the hand play out for you for Corrosion? Why was it time to move on?
Well, I felt like because we live in different cities, it's hard to work on new material. So in some sense, I felt like the level of playing and the show that was really quality, and we could throw some creativity, some improvisation into it every night. We didn't have enough new songs if you want to have a rehearsal, you got to get Airbnb and a flight and stuff like that. Because Woody lives in Southwest Virginia, Pepper lives in New Orleans, etc. So I wanted to work on new stuff. I missed, it was difficult after Reed died and stuff, just not having anybody else in town to work on music with.
Sure.
So I'm like, what? It's time to just do it different.
Yeah.
Start a new band, do something local. So I am. The band is called Archaeos.
Archaeos?
Archaeos.
Okay. Have you been playing out?
We've played one gig, and we did that so that we would get our material tight enough to record it, as we were doing yesterday, and we will be doing about 10 minutes after I get off the phone with you.
Good.
Yeah.
You let me know when it's time to come up to New York. Hey, you let me know when it's time to come up to New York. You come up and play one of our Sunday hardcore matinees.
All right,
I have a block.
It's got elements of that. It's a little on the Black Sabbath.
It's okay.
But
we can handle it.
Yeah. But still, it's a little more in your face, so it could work in that context too.
It's an eclectic hardcore world these days,
We
brother.
also have a hardcore record in us, and that's sort of developing behind the scenes. So.
Is that with Walsby on drums?
No. But he's I have been jamming with him and some other people with the possibility of this project taking shape, but we're just kind of looking into it. I don't know if you remember the band Blast.
Of course.
But
they were on SST.
Yeah. So the original guitar player on the first record, like we've been trying to get hooked up with him, and we came and had one jam session, got some songs together. We had another guitar player as well. And so we're trying to figure out if we have time to actually do this, because we have some material. We also have like a local singer who reminds me of like De Kreutzen. Kind of reminds me of Dan from De Kreutzen. So we got this real good potential. We got some material. So in the course of coming up with some of that material, we have some Archaeo stuff that's, a little bit Flag, a little bit St. Vitus. So we'll see.
Good.
See what happens.
Let me take a quick sponsor break, and we'll come back and we'll take some questions from around the world, okay?
All right.
That's right. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today is Mike Dean, formerly of Corrosion and Conformity, and much, much, much more. And we are sponsored by blah, 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 and 126 Hardcore Clothing. They're a streetwear brand. 126 Hardcore Clothing is a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with subtle printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your game at www.126clothing.com. Last but not least, She Devil's Coven is a female-owned entrepreneur business based out of Connecticut. Owner Rachel King Keys handcrafts soy wax candles set with intentions for your sanctuaries. She's accomplished a life goal dream since beauty school, debuting her artist showcase Hotties and Hellions that feature live bands, burlesque, sideshow acts, vendors, food trucks, and this year, a live auction with all proceeds going to the mental health program Punk Rock Saves Lives. Catch her in the tri-state area doing her thing, slinging candles at events, and keep an eye out for her show coming to La Ciudad de Nueva York in the spring of 2026. You can find her on Etsy and on Instagram. Questions that you may have for our guest, Mike Dean, post them now. Let them fly. Don't be shy. Go weird. Go deep. Get weird. Want to mention a couple of events that are coming up. A week from today, come on now, down at the Bowery Electric, ID's playing. Bring the wife and kid. Bring that nagging wife. Bring that booger-eating kid. Come on down. All are welcome. This is going to be great. We're heading out to San Francisco. This means you, Chris Contos, and everybody else in the Bay Area. We're playing with GBH and our buddies in Noise Saturday, October 18th at Crash Fest. And then we're down in Philly playing Hostile City Weekender 3 with Rebelmatic and Impact Driver and much more on Friday, November 7th. We mentioned Steven's gig. Sunday, November 9th at the Bowery Electric, free all ages Sunday matinee with Brick by Brick, No Weapon, Impact Driver, Faction Zero, and Fourth Floor Massive. Connecticut will be out there on Saturday, November 22nd, playing with Concrete Ties at the infamous Cherry Street Station. And of course, I know everybody's going to be there. The big banger, the Holiday Slamboree at the Bowery Electric, featuring the return of My War, new singers, new songs, Butterbrain, Tree, Serial Poets, and World of Chaos. So lots going down. That is the Women of the Pit annual coat drive. So bring a coat for a great cause, and we will see you down there. Any questions, post them now. Please go deep. Here we go. And let's bring on Mike D. And let's see what we got. All right, you ready? Let's see. Let's start with this. Okay, it's a good one. Count. I hope things are well upstate. In the 2000s, COC did a Animosity reunion tour where they played the album in its entirety. Can he talk about playing those songs again after so many years?
Yeah. I mean, that was a good time. I think it was demanding of Reed to play so aerobically after, leaning in on slower stuff. But that was a good time. We played with a band called Goat Snake.
Yeah.
The whole thing was like a Southern Lord affiliated thing. So we played with Goat Snake, which is like the loudest band I've ever heard. At that time with Scott Reeder on bass. So it was pretty cool. But yeah.
Scott Reeder, who was did I see him in Fu Manchu or Caius?
Well, both, because the drummer,
because Bork, right, was the drum. Who was the?
Well, no. So the bass player for Caius is named Scott Reeder, and
That's
a different gentleman plays drums in Fu Manchu, and his name is also Scott Reeder, and they have a project called Sun and Sail Club. But that's got nothing to do with doing a bunch of 30 or 40-year-old songs for the first time. I mean, yeah, that was fun. I felt like we still had it. It didn't take too much effort to really dust those off and remember them because they're pretty well ingrained. And thought we had a good reception, and we got to play it with that slightly, like younger people who had kind of like a nerdy affection for it. They were like the weird kids that liked old music.
Sure.
Cool. Kind of like I was when I was a kid,
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted Robert Johnson or something.
Yeah. Hey, shouting out John Angeli. Yo, thanks, John, for everything you do to support the show and to help us link us up with guests. And thank you so much. And I know you hooked us in with Bobby Gustafson before, so thanks. Let's see. Does he? Oh, and this is coming from a gear guy. Does he remember the gear he used on Animosity?
Yeah, at that point, that was a 1975-ish Fender Precision bass into a very early Ampeg SVT head into a really beat up Ampeg.
Is that it? Is that the bass?
Yeah, that's the bass.
Yeah,
that's the bass. That's the one. If I still had that, it would probably be worth money. But yeah, it got stolen. It got stolen when I moved back to North Carolina to get ready, prepared to do Deliverance. Yeah, Christmas Eve, somebody broke into the practice space.
Oh,
but they got Reed's drum. We got Reed's drums back, and everybody
got them back.
Me. So the detectives call me. They're like, we think we found the drums. Can we bring them back? So like, it's pouring down rain, and Reed's drum set he's had forever is hanging out of the back of a Ford Crown Vic, and I got to take it out of the cop car, put it back in the fucking spot.
Where'd they find the drums?
There's just a guy from a fake. They were investigating a fake charity upstairs from our rehearsal spot called like Wheelchair Veterans of America. So they were investigating him for fraud, and then a dude that worked for the fake charity had kicked the door in, and they went and asked him about the charity thing, and his girlfriend said, "Is this about the drums in my living room?" So she gave him up for the other thing. So we got some of the shit, but we didn't get the bass back. We went around the pawn shops, but we didn't find it. But yeah, so that bass sound is pretty much just a Ampeg SVT and a Fender P bass.
I'm loving the boycott stab shirt, the old government issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love that record.
Yeah, I like the record Joyride a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
Little faux Motorhead type of thing. I think that's one of my favorite. Yeah, those guys were they were kind of like the alternative to Minor Threat.
They were. My wife
we're fuck ups.
Yeah, my wife just discovered them because I was listening to them in the car. She's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's a band called Government Issue. This is a record called Boycott Stab. Huge influence on me and Antidote, and we love this. We love the singer." So she like did a deep dive. She's like, "I love this band." I'm like, "Yeah, they're kind of great."
I gotta dust it off and
Yeah. Oh,
Stab.
Boycott Stab, man.
Yeah.
That's on my top 10, man. Absolutely. Let's see. Didn't COC once tour the UK with Nuclear Assault? Probably.
I did not,
Oh,
but it's possible. It's possible that they could have done that around the time of, before Blind or during that era. It's possible.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've toured the UK with Clutch. That was a good time.
Ooh. Adriano, who's doing a book on crossover in Italy. Hey, Drew, can you ask him about post-technocracy songs recorded with Simon Baum that never saw the light of day? Songs like Teacher and Line of Fire? Does that ring a bell?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was like right. We were starting to play those songs around the time that I quit. And I think that those recordings would be Simon Bob on vocals, Woody on guitar, Phil Swisher on bass, Reed on drums. Yeah, I think those recordings are from. There were some recordings we did that I did play on, working those out. But I got a feeling that what he's heard was the second iteration of them playing around with that stuff, probably.
Got it. Oh,
Simon Bob lyrics.
Adriano, what's up, bro? Got the wrong Adriano. Hey, from Dead Blow Hammer. Okay. Well, that said, we are psyched to be playing with you guys a week from today, motherfucker. So I have a question. Okay, well, isn't that your question? Or is it the question within the question? All right, Israel Crowley, let's hear your question. Post it up. Paul Stone says Fingers with Teeth is another from back then.
Oh yeah, that's sort of in between period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers pointing. Yeah, I remember that.
Was the 6 songs with Mike singing EP recorded for the Skate Rick or Skate Rock compilation?
That must be the reason for doing it, was to do stuff for comps. Yeah, I think that's probably, I can't tell you for sure, but I think that was the stated purpose of doing those.
I see.
And then it became its own thing. And I was like, what the hell? You didn't ask me about that. But I didn't hear about it until they had like a royalty check from Caroline for me. So I showed up immediately and paid the rent.
That makes sense. As we head down the home stretch, were they recording Animosity at Track at the same time Blast was recording their debut?
No, but that wouldn't have been far. That wouldn't have been chronologically very far from that.
Right.
No. I think that might have happened a little bit. I don't know. There's something funny about the Blast recording sessions and them doing things like twice or something. I'm not real sure, but that was around I know that when we were there recording, we played a show with Blast or a couple shows with Blast. We can't, but yeah, I don't know about not sure about the timing of their, power of expression or anything like that.
Now, I know this isn't pertaining to you, but how did Pepper end up on the Metallica Garage Inc. recording of Tuesday's Gone? Didn't Pepper try out? Yeah, right. You know what? We'll get Pepper on the show to talk to Pepper about the Pepper shit. And you know what?
He's more entertaining, but he'd be more entertaining.
Listen, tell you what. We'll get Pepper on the show. We'll ask him because he also tried out for Metallica, right? So we'll. I
mean, all those dudes supposedly tried out for Metallica for bass, but I don't think really they were all for real. I think it was they had the concept to do this thing. Because I mean, what? Maybe he's not even a bass player. I think he's just he hit it off well with those guys, particularly Hetfield. So that's just being along for the ride and doing fun stuff, I think. But maybe it was serious. I don't know. He could play a bass. It's not hard. Any ape can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. Shit.
Ray Hogan asks, Reed once told me how much ZZ Top meant to him. When did you realize that the boogie element separated you from the pack?
Well, the thing about ZZ Top, if you think of the stuff like from '79 onward. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the early stuff where Frank Beard actually played a drum kit, and it is it's more than just boogie. It is like greasy, sideways. They got songs where he's actually sounds like he's playing a harder hitting version of the Meters. That kind of stuff. Like he's a very, very underrated drummer, and and very he can play all kinds of different ways: greasy and behind, hard and on top, all in the same song. So I think once you start focusing in on, oh, I'm listening to the drums, and you listen to ZZ Top, that's a key thing. But yeah, I mean, I think when I was a kid, like Columbia Records and Tape Club, you know, I stole all money for. I think on that same heist, I got like Rastaman Vibration, Fandango by ZZ Top.
Ooh.
The second Clash record, Give 'Em Enough Rope.
Ooh.
You know, I got some records out of that I still owe money for. One of them was definitely and Fandango. ZZ Top was heavy, man, before they got into all the. And it's great. You know, if you listen to Woody's solos and stuff like that, you know, that kind of phrasing, that kind of space, it's there. But yeah, Frank Beard, I think to me, something like Whiskey and Mama, the drums on that. Oh, that's bad stuff. So yeah.
Hey, this one's coming from upstate New York, Troy, New York, where we've met the enemy, and the enemy is us. Our beloved friend, singer for Murderers Row, formerly Stigmata, Bob Riley. Animosity is such an important record to heavy music and to a lot of people I know. We loved Mike's voice. Nothing against Simon Bob, but why didn't Mike continue to sing lead? Loved his voice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my voice proved not to be very durable. So, you know, be hoarse a lot. And I think maybe I didn't do everything I could to be ready to do a show at that point. Like I didn't know. And also when you're living in a van, and just it's hard to be your best, you know. Sleep on somebody's floor occasionally, you know. So there was that, and so it just seemed like maybe easier to have him do it, but I don't know. Yeah, we probably should have kept on keeping on. What can you do? 2020 hindsight, but thanks for the vote of confidence.
You got
could have used it 40 years ago.
Yeah, right. Where's the other question about? Oh, can we see the animal that's making those crazy sounds off camera? Aw. Wow. Oh, there's a couple of them.
And the piece de resistance.
Oh.
Shelter pity. Xander.
Oh.
That's my dad. He's not making any noise because he's good. He knows how to be.
Wow, handsome. Xander's a handsome fella.
He knows what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think as we head down the absolute home stretch here, I think will we ever see you in COC again? You make the band, bro. Not the same without you.
Never say never, you know. Never say never. Yeah, it's possible. I'm not opposed to it. Just it just seemed like too cumbersome to make music. They managed to make new music. They managed to make some new music. So I'm glad for them. I think their record's going to sound good. And they got Bobby, who played in guitar and down, who turns out he's actually like a real bass player, plays the P bass with his fingers, used to play bass in a band called Snakes of Central Texas. And he's a hardworking dude. He's like Tex for Pantera and stuff like that. So he approaches it from he really shows up every day, and they're sounding good. So I'm glad for them, but you know, never say never. In the immediate, I got this band called Archaeos, and we're just getting started recording now. So that's kind of focused on, you know, creating some stuff with them. And these are local guys, so we can just, hey, you want to rehearse? And we rehearse. You know, we don't have to fly in from far corners of the country. Hey. This is apparently they think it's time to eat or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have
all right. Last but not least, before once again from Bob Wright, love the Snake Nation LP. How come you and Woody didn't do another?
I mean, it was just kind of a one-off.
Yeah, it was a one-off deal.
Yeah, but I mean, we could have possibly that would have been interesting. I definitely, I think we had some good material to start with, you know.
Well, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thanks
it was
for having me
great.
on. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, it was good talking to you. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out?
Well, you know, thanks to everybody that tuned in and, you know, given the support over the years. It's it's, you know, I'll be creating music anyway, but it's a lot more fun to have people to perform it for that appreciate it, stuff like that. So that's what it's all about. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. And let's keep in touch. And
Please,
let me know when you want to come up to New York. Come
All right.
Come play one of the shows at the Bowery, man.
All
We'll
right.
take care of you.
You're in trouble now because I got your numbers. So.
All right. I'll
shout
talk
out
to you later. Have a good night, my friend.
Please, take care.
Okay, take care. Boom. There you go, huh? Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Huh? Man, that was great. That was great. You know what? I needed that. I don't know about you, but I really needed that, man. I needed like a return to form, like great guest, great questions. You know, that was fucking awesome. So good. Thank you, John from London. You know, hey, Gabriel, thanks for tuning. Sally Mae. Whoa, you were out there, Sally? Yeah. So that was great, man. Thanks for watching, Gabe, and hey, Paul Stone and Meredith and Larry the Hunter, bro. Thanks for representing hard on this one. You and Dijon, you know, I really did my homework on this one. I wasn't that versed in corrosion conformity. Like I knew some of the obvious stuff, but you know, I did a deep dive and wow, they have an incredible catalog. And you know who we got to get on the show? You know who we're going to get on the show? Yeah, that's right. We'll get Pepper Keenan on this show. I want to talk to Pepper Keenan. Bring me Pepper Keenan. I want to talk to him. Let's get down with him. Fucking guy's a talent, man. You know? Hey, Christopher. Thanks, Darren. It was great. It's a great show. Great show. That said, there will not be Saturday night, if you're in the great state of New Jersey, Saturday, October 11th at AC Slade from the Misfits Catfight Coffee Shop, we are screening the Alago film for the first time in many years. Come through. I am doing a Q&A with Michael Alago. And then the next day, of course, we're playing down at the Barry Electric. ID is headlining. We're going to pack the place. Bring the wife and kid. Come hang out. And then we will be back here a couple days after that with Zach Thorne from Bulldoze. So, and yes, much healing for Lou Kohler, our brother Lou Kohler. So, hey, Shane, how you doing? Hey, Robert Hogg in Scotland. Thank you, bro. What a great guest, man. Good going, you know? John Bush. When's the John Bush show? John Bush is coming on Sunday, December 7th, co-hosted by Lori Dawn. Would you like to know a secret for those that have hung in there this long? This show's not announced yet, but just because you've hung in so long. Sunday, January 4th, Candace from Walls of Jericho is going to be on the show. So this is going to be announced. So there you go. Are there any new songs in the My War set list? Yeah, there are a bunch. But if I kind of, I don't want to tell who's. Oh yeah, there's a Damned song. I think we're doing this song. So yo, it is a love song. That's in the My War set. I'm not going to say who's singing it. There's a Kraut song in the set. You're all twisted. I think my wife is going to sing Suicidal Tendencies Possessed. She's insisting on that song. You know, for some reason. I want to sing Possessed. I'm like, why that song? All right. What else? Oh, Borstal Breakout. Gonna be a Borstal Breakout. Yep. So yeah, there's a bunch of new songs in the My War set. So thanks for asking. And of course, the My War thing is happening as part of the Holiday Slamboree on December 14th. So come on down to that. Yeah. No, not Possessed the Skate. The song's called Possessed. 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 Yeah. So. Oh, what's up? Off the couch. Yay, man. Good to see you. You've been here the whole time? Hey, Drew, thanks for your amazing Alago documentary. Just had him on my podcast. I saw that. Great guy, great journey. Yeah. I saw some of him being on your show. Great job. You have a great podcast. Check out the Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. I was on it a while back. It's great. I turned you on to him. Yeah, he's a character. Changed the trajectory of my life. I will say that. I'm very proud of the Alago film. It's a great film. I don't say that about everything I've done, but the Alago film was a very good film. It's got like a first act, a second act, a third act. It's very good. Hey, Amy. Did you see Biohazard the other night? What's up, Drew? Negative approach, circle jerks, and adolescence tomorrow. I just got off a 3-hour drum session. Wow, Danny. Yeah. Armored Saint's first self-titled demo is fire. You know, I got to do some homework for this one. I have to say, I'm like not the most versed Armored Saint dude. I mean, I know peripherally some of the stuff, so I got to go hard on Armored Saint. Some of his Anthrax stuff I know, you know, but yeah, looking forward. John seems like a really nice guy, and yeah. And just a little clue, just so you know, the person that handles John Bush also handles Pepper Keenan and Woody. So yes, we will get those guys on the show. Where can I find the Alago documentary? It's on Amazon. I think it's on Amazon for like a couple of bucks, $3.99 or some shit. It's on most streaming platforms. If you go on Amazon, a couple of my films are on there. The Alago film, the New York Hardcore Chronicles film is on there. XXX All Ages XXX, the Boston Hardcore film. I think I have like 4 or 5 films on there. You know, John Bush did Burger King commercials as an actor, as a kid, or as a singer. Yo, the Adolescents were tight last weekend. Okay, I haven't seen the Adolescents in a minute, but yo, you know who's playing the night before? We're going out to San Francisco to play Crash Fest. You know who's playing the night before? The Radolescents with Casey Royer and what's his name? Rick Agnew. The Radolescents. You know? So yeah. Oh, so he did a voiceover. Is that right? We'll ask him about that. You know? You need to get Graham Sale from High Vis on, one of the best born in the UK. They're brilliant if you don't take a deep dive. Okay. Okay. Any other suggestions on who we have to have on the show? Being that the book, I got to tell you, any other questions? But let me say this. The show has never been booked so far in advance, ever. People want to come on the show now. So High Vis. How do you pronounce it? High Vis or High Vis? Yeah. Yeah. John sung with Metal Allegiance. Right. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. John Bush turned down joining Metallica. Listen, that's been fucking hounding that guy. John Bush turned down joining Metallica. He thought Armored Saint had more of a chance to make it. Yeah. John Bush stuck to his guns with his boys. You can't fault him for that. Francis, Danny Fields. Danny Fields was in the Ilago film. He was great in it. He'd make a good guest. Richard Hell, you think? Keith Morris, thanks for reminding me. Fuck, I was supposed to text him, and I keep forgetting. Oosh. After seeing the Voivod cover, after seeing the Probot cover, maybe Away or Snake would be good from Voivod. Yeah, good one. Yep. Makes sense. What else? All right. Remaining members of RKL. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Hetfield is the vocalist in Metallica for lots of Iggy. Yeah, let's get it. You just play. Yo, Larry, you just played with Iggy the other day. Larry playing with Murphy's Law played the same fest with Iggy Pop and The Damned and Johnny Marr. That was great. The CBGB's fest was really great. Yep. Larry the Hunter. Blaine from The Accused. Okay. Yeah, good call, Voivod. We got to get some Voivod on here for sure. Look at, I pulled so many pictures. Yo, here's a picture we didn't use. I didn't get to post this during the Mike Dean show. Here's a different look for him, huh? Look at that. Short hair and clean shaven. Wow. There you go. Anyone from the Crumbsuckers? Yeah, we had the bass player, Gary. We had Gary from Crumbsuckers on. Chuck Lenahan won't come on the show, So I tell you what, Johnny Marr was one of the best things I saw that day, honestly. And I'm not like some like big Smiths fan, but Johnny Marr was friggin' fantastic at the CBGB Fest. Greg Graffin turned it down. Greg Graffin turned down the show. I think he got bamboozled with the New York Hardcore Chronicles. I think he sort of Greg Graffin, I think, thinks he's above doing a show like this. No disrespect, but maybe I'll talk to Brian Baker about talking to him about it. But whatever. It's not for everyone, Listen, this show is like licorice. If you're into licorice, you love licorice. If you're into this show, you love this show. So that said, thanks a lot, everybody. It was good to see you. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to talk. We're playing with GBH a week from Saturday. I'm going to talk to them. We've almost had them on a couple of times. We've had Jock on, but like I said, what keeps happening is the show gets booked so far in advance. It's very rare that I'm like, who do we need to get? It seems like a lot of people are coming to us right now. So, Hey, Sally Mae. Tim Armstrong. Okay. All right. We had his bandmate on. Yeah. Tim's a good dude, Yep. Thanks a lot, everybody. That was a great show. If we don't see you down at the Bowery Electric, if we don't see you, I'm going to do a couple shows with Will on Friday out in Long Island. If we don't see you there or at the Ilago screening or down at the Bowery Electric for ID, we will see you back here a week from Wednesday with Zach Thorne. So thanks a lot, everybody. You know what to do. Until next time, please, tell your loved ones that you love them. Life is friggin' short, man. It's important. Tell your loved ones that you love them and do good things, no matter what. Do not fall to the dark side, my friend. Do good things and good things will come to you.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your